Good morning, everyone. My name is Dennis.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam.
And we together will be presenting this live market analysis for everyone. So me and Adam are going to go over this daily market analysis for November 17th, and we're going to talk about everything you need to know before you start trading today.
Okay, so let's start with the latest news as usual. The first one is that Australian employment change rose less than expected last month. Actual numbers are 9.8k versus the forecasted, which was 20k. If we move on, the next one is the meta quotes, which is, I think, the most important news of the year because everyone is using MT4. So they plan to abandon MT4, thus turning to MT5 totally. Rumors started months ago, and here in Limassol, Cyprus, people with knowledge of the matter have made some indications. And meta quotes added that they didn't expect to see any development to come out of MT4. This means MT4 will be replaced by MT5 in a year or two. And the latest one is that Apple would turn to OLED. Suppliers can't live up to the expectations. If supply doesn't meet demand, Apple will, well, basically they can't ship all their new iPhones with the OLED, but only one. Now let's go to trending. Russia has made more than 400 billion rubles, which is roughly $6 billion, from talking to OPEC. As Russia decided to engage in talks with OPEC about limitations of oil output earlier this year, the nation's budget rose with around $6 billion, which is pretty amazing. It's your time now.
For what we missed?
Yep.
Okay, so what I'm going to go over very quickly is the Trump effect and what's been happening. Yesterday we saw further retracement of the post-election moves from the U.S. stock markets and indice markets. Now, the overall S&P 500 index traded slightly lower yesterday, but there were significant differences between sectors. Financial and industrial, which have otherwise seen a very strong performance after the election, underperformed, while the communication sector gained the most. So this is pretty big.
Okay, that's great. Some additional things is that news from the UK were diverse yesterday, thus we saw room for GBP to gain in value. As we indicated, we opened positions and we made more than 23% with our GBP exposure.
Very good.
Next to this one, we had the PPI and crude oil inventories that came out worse than expected, and WTI traders didn't see the reason behind the rising of the WTI. We expected oil to rise, and our S23 strategy was able to compound the oil and made some good returns. And last but not least, the live trading chambers are aired, and basically we're gonna have two today as well. So attendees can experience only in this month what the value they would receive if they attend.
Right. Well, live trading chambers are very interesting because usually our top traders, not usually, but always our top traders, whether that's me, Adam, Stefan, or anyone else, hosting these events, opening live trades, analyzing the markets live, and pretty much giving you a lot of information. So if any of you are trading at the UK Open or the US Open, the live trading chamber is the place to be. Now I'm going to go over the fundamental side. We have a pretty busy day. Very big calendar. We have US CPIs for October. They're due at 2:30 Central European time, which is 2:30 Central European time. Then we have Fed Chair Yellen is due to testify before Congress in a joint economic committee. That's happening at 4 p.m. Central European time, and it's definitely going to grab attention. Now, when we go into technicals and trades of the day, I'm going to talk about Yellen really quick. The other thing that we have is the ECB is, from the Eurozone of course, the ECB is due to publish accounts of its 20 October monetary policy meeting. Also, Executive Board member Peter is due to participate in a panel discussion on the future of the global finance integration in New York, which is happening late at night at 10:45 Central European time. Now, real quick, I'm going to go over the Trump effect. Trump's victory has triggered a substantial rally in the US dollar, driven by two different factors. One, expectation that it's substantially Trump-led fiscal easing will lead to higher inflation and significantly more hawkish Fed. 2. Expectations that Trump administration will give a tax break for US companies to repatriate offshore held earnings back to the US, thus growing the US economy, such as Google, Apple, and everyone else. Now, estimates suggest that the HIA2 could drive a substantially bigger rally, inflow than the HIA in 2005, where the US companies repeated around 300 billion and drove the USD higher. Now, while 1 and 2 are very positive US dollar signs, larger US fiscal deficit in itself has tended to coincide with a weaker USD, with exception actually of the first Reagan period, which happened way back in the 70s, which was accompanied by the rise in real interest rates. We did not expect real interest rates to rise. So we spoke about Trump quite a bit yesterday. We explained about Mexico, oil, and gold. We also released a very cool post about oil and its correlated currencies, Canadian dollar and Norwegian crown. Very important stuff to watch. So Adam is going to go over the 2 trades today, and then I'm going to go over a couple of my ideas. Floor is yours, Adam.
Thank you very much. So the first trade is the gold. If you were following gold, you could see that the last 3 days we can see rising candles as price hit exactly the 50% of the 112.5% and the 100% MPIs. Further confirmation and a clear understanding of the influence of the news are required to open in any direction, but we see room to go higher before, if not gaining momentum, to continue its losing streak.
Right, and tonight Yellen is going to be speaking, and I got this little hunch that she just might weaken the dollar, might increase and use gold to head higher. So that's what I see. I see gold heading a bit higher. Right, we spoke about this yesterday, and I think Yellen will be that push that drives it higher. So what else do you have, Adam?
Well, I have those. For me, the daily chart suggests a moderate correction, as elections brought approximately 7.5% gain. As price closed under the trend line, if you draw a trend line, you could see, and also an engulfing bearish pattern form, but further confirmation to enter short is required. Now, if you go down to a 4-hour chart, you can clearly see a triple top, and on a daily chart with a strong double top, and pretty much these are strong bearish indications. So what we will see today.
Well, right. If price doesn't break this level, then we're going to see it head much lower, or possibly to the 10500, maybe even less. That's pretty much it for me and Adam. We wish you a really good day, and make sure you register for the live trading chambers. They can both be found here. You can see my mouse, press a trading chamber, and you'll be able to see all the live trading chambers and how you can register for them.
It's very simple. We have many options to register. First of all, if you follow us on Facebook, we have all the links to there. We are sending out emails to everyone, and we're gonna enclose the links in this analysis as well. So under the YouTube channel, so just watch it and check it.
Right, the first one starts in 1 hour and 15 minutes exactly. Thank you for watching.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All the best.